get to it. He was sacked yesterday, as I said at the top of the show, after 162 days in charge of Everton. And Sam Allardyce, well, he's chosen to speak to one outlet and one outlet only today, and that is to me here at talkSPORT. So you will only hear from Sam Allardyce today on talkSPORT. Sacked after a short meeting in a London hotel with the owner, Farhad Moshiri. So the question that remained this morning, how was Big Sam feeling?
Jim, I think that I'm surprised how it came about only by the fact that it seemed to have all been done and dusted through the media before I got to see Ed Farhad and the Everton board. I think that it was right out there in the open for a couple of days, and I think that then leaves you with the absolute certainty what's going to happen when this meeting comes around. And I think that then is slightly disappointing. Quite who's involved in that, I couldn't tell you. But obviously, something as delicate as that, when you're parting company or having a meeting on whether you're going to go continue or part company, is something that you want to be confidential and not open out in the open before it actually happens. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, this seems to be the way of the world today in football, that nothing can stay confidential.
Do you feel disrespected?
I don't go as far as disrespected. I think that what happens in the game of football today is a huge pressure on a manager from all angles, and I think that huge pressure is building even greater because the money has now brought more instability than ever before. And I think as you look throughout the whole of the season, the ones who've suffered the most are the managers, and I think that it's not always their fault.
Yeah,
and I think that's the big problem, Jim. I think there's something like, I was speaking to Richard Bevan, I think there's something like, probably if you include myself now, 15 managers out of 20 in one season in the Premier League have left or been removed or sacked, however you want to put it, and that is a massive instability for such a fantastic league and such a fantastic game.
But it's fair to say you saw this coming, Sam. I mean, when you sat down with Farhad Moshiri yesterday, you knew what was coming, I take it?
Oh, I think so. I think that there was when it gets it so open in the press from all angles, Jim, the day before, it's highly unlikely that it's going to be the reverse of what's being predicted. And I think that you then prepare yourself for exactly what happened and for what was being said a couple of days before, and I think that I'm not saying that anything other than my meeting with Farhad was very amicable and Keith Harris regarding the way we conducted ourselves, but I did express a disappointment on how it got out in that press, but I certainly don't think it came from them.
You know, Sam, and I know, and Everton fans listening to this expect me to put this to you. The depth of discontent towards you was enormous. And when you look at it in December, goalless against Chelsea, no shots on target. New Year's Day against Manchester United, you lose 2-0 at home, no shots on target. I mean, at one stage, they leapt on you when you said, and I don't think you really meant it, but you leapt on you when you said that the team needs to be more boring. In some way, Sam, could you have done more to bridge it with the Everton hardcore?
Oh, always. I think there's always an element of discontent in the world of football today. But, you are left with the tools that you have, Jim, and I think that the tools that we had was about reorganising Everton because of the huge amount of goals they'd conceded before I got there. I think that if I remember rightly, 28 goals have been conceded in the last 8 games. And the club was in a very, very difficult position. So for me, it was to get the lads to work harder, both in and out of possession, and then start creating as things got better, which is what we tried to do throughout the whole of the season. At the end of the day, we bought, with Farhad's blessing, we bought Theo Walcott and Cenk Tosun, who added to the goal tally, added to the more flair to the team. So that improved as time went on, and I think that, if it wasn't enough for the Everton fans at that particular time that were showing some discontent, I think there was certainly more Everton fans that were happy what we were doing and going in the right direction than there was that wasn't. But as you know as well as me, those who show discontent are the ones who are more open and vocal, rather than the ones who are satisfied go away and don't really say too much.
Yeah, and the Everton statement yesterday thanked you for the stability you brought to the club.
You know, I was not employed to do a short-term job on this occasion, Jim, though. I think that was the reason I came back, you know. But, you know, in the end, for whatever reason, it wasn't enough. I accept that and move on. Like, you know, I think that, you know, the club is going in the right direction. I think that, you know, the plans for the club have built expectation. There's massive plans by Farhad to go forward with a new stadium and make Everton something even more special than it already is in the future. I'm no longer a part of that, but for my short time, I think I've contributed. So, you know, we don't hold grudges, or I don't hold grudges. I move on, and then for now, it's about me going and watching and enjoying the World Cup. Yeah,
and until recently, Sam, and be honest with me, did you honestly believe that you would be staying longer than this season?
Well, up to just very recently, yes. But then when you hear the rumours in the papers and throughout most of the media situation, Jim, you obviously have some concern, like, you know. So that for me was obviously put to bed yesterday, and like I said, when the decision is been made, there is little you can do other than move on. And I think that, like I said, I had a conversation yesterday with Farhad, and we parted company amicably, and we move on.
How are the backroom staff feeling? I mean, are they as frustrated as yourself? Are they quite realistic about it? Are they quite pragmatic this morning?
I think they're all very disappointed, obviously, because, you know, it's not just me that's lost your job, and it's not, you know, it's them as well, like, you know, have dedicated themselves from day one when they walked into Everton to try and help the situation and make it better. And I think they've all done that, as the backroom staff that I inherited. I think we all pulled in the right, as did the players. And really, I can't ask for anything more from them. You know, I think that, you know, the satisfying thing for me is the response of the backroom staff and the response of the players on what position we finished. And yes, some of the football could have been better. I agree with that, and there's no doubt about that. We all want to try and create as much entertainment value and results as we possibly can, and you know, and then move on. Like, you know, I think we've moved the club forward extremely well, and I think their disappointment is, you know, now they've got to go out and try and find another job somewhere else, which is not an easy task today in the world of football. But you know, we all have to accept in this game today that it's perilous, you know. And I think that you know, whether you think you deserve being moved on or sacked or not, it doesn't matter anymore. The decision's been made, and you've got to get on with it. But the staff, the backroom staff, are very, very good, and we're very good. And like I said, I enjoyed the time I was there. It wasn't long enough, but there you go.
And finally, Sam, I read the reports this morning that Rooney's move to the USA could be off. I mean, it now seems he might stay at Everton. I mean, who knows? I don't know if you know. Is there any update? Did you know more when you left?
No, I didn't. I moved away from that after I'd played my part in that, Jim. I think that I'd had several conversations with Wayne, as I've said before, and said very recently that me and Wayne conducted ourselves amicably. And if anybody suggests that there was any rift between me and Wayne Rooney, I would 1,000% refute that. So whatever happens with Wayne now, I wish him all the best, whether it's at Everton or whether it's somewhere else in the United States.
Sam, finally, that there is no doubt, and there's no doubt in my mind, that Premier League clubs will come calling for you. Do you expect, after a short time out of it, do you expect to be managing in the Premier League again next season? Is that what you want?
Well, what you want and what you get, you cannot predict, Jim. You know, I think that I've had a fantastic night at the LMA Awards dinner on Tuesday night.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
I had a very, very nice award for doing over 1,000 games, and I think that most of those games have been acquired in the 7 Premier League clubs I've been lucky enough to manage, and I think that as time moves on, whatever comes your way, you listen to and then make a judgment on whether it's right for you and whether it's right for the football club that may want to employ you. Like I said before, football's been, all my life, and as the LMA, have been a big part of my life as well for the last 20 odd years. I think that, I'm inaugurated in football and love to stay in it.
Do you have a final message, Sam, and especially for the Everton hardcore, most of whom wanted you out, but do you have a final message for them?
Well, I would say most of them didn't want me out, Jim. And I'd say that is going around Everton and going around many places. Like I said before, not everybody has the same opinion as some few, but that has obviously fueled up and built up over many media centres. That happens today, I accept that. But moving forward, Everton need to go and build a team on the field and move forward that way to cope and go with a stadium that's going to be built in the next 3-4 years.
Well, that was Sam Allardyce speaking to me this morning exclusively for talkSPORT. The only place you will hear from Allardyce today is right here with us on talkSPORT. And I can tell you, Big Sam is already booked up by talkSPORT. He'll be a big part of the station's World Cup coverage coming up from Russia. We look forward to his involvement in that. So Sam Allardyce here, speaking to us just a short time ago. He knew the end was coming at Everton. He maintains that more Everton fans were happy with him than those who were not happy with him. And he maintains that the club is going in the right direction. He wishes Everton well, especially in their new stadium, and he bears no grudges. Give me a call now on what you heard.